Welcome back to sinhvientainang channel, an English learning channel for beginners. In today's lesson, we will practice talking about dates. After this lesson, you will be fluent in listening, speaking, reading, and writing about dates.
In the next part of the video, you will practice listening with the teacher about real-life stories. Point of view mini-story for obsessive behavior. Let's go.
Practice. Talking about dates. Activity 1. Speaking. This practice, you will say out loud of years below, then listen to the recording and check that you said them correctly.
Listen to the recording and check that you said
Activity 1.
1879 1952 1539 1800 1978 1760 1913 1817 1901 1970 1929 1899 1908 1066
Activity 2. When did these famous writers live? Listen and write down when they were born and when they died. 1.
When did Charles Dickens live?
Dickens? Well, he was born in 1812 and he died in 1870.
2. Do you know when D.H. Lawrence was born?
Yes, he was born in 1885.
And when did he die?
He died in 1930.
3.
Do you know when Jane Austen was born?
Yes, she lived from 1775 to 1817.
1775 to 1817.
That's right.
4.
Is Ernest Hemingway still alive?
No, he died in 1961.
Oh, when was he born?
He was born in 1899.
5.
Do you know when Emily Dickinson lived?
Yes, she was born in 1830 and she died in 1886.
6.
When was Oscar Wilde born?
Oscar Wilde. Oh, in 1854.
And when did he die?
In 1900.
Check the result.
Activity 3. Speaking. Say the dates out loud. Then listen to the recording and check that you said them correctly.
listen to the recording and check that you said
Activity 3.
The 7th of June, 1948. The 8th of February, 1985. The 23rd of March, 1980. The 2nd of January, 1984. The 14th of November, 1987. The 24th of December, 1962. The 4th of September, 1972. The 3rd of October, 1921. The 8th of July, 1956. The 29th of February, 1980.
Activity 4. Listen to these people saying when they were born. Write down the dates. For example, if you hear, I was born on the 28th of July, 1953, write 28/7/53. 1.
Could you give me the date of your birth?
Oh, yes. I was born on the 6th of June, 1939.
2.
When were you born, please?
I was born in 1965 on July the 6th.
3.
I need to know your date of birth, please.
It's April the 21st, 1956.
4.
What was the date of your birth, please?
1929, February the 16th. 5.
When were you born?
I was born in 1944, January the 2nd, 1944.
6.
Could I have your date of birth, please?
November the 15th, 1971.
Check the result.
Activity 5. When did these visitors arrive in Britain and when will they leave? Listen and circle the day each person arrived and the day they are leaving. 1.
So how long have you been in Britain?
Well, we arrived on the 4th and we're staying until the 20th.
2.
Have you been here long?
Just 5 days. We arrived on the 10th.
And how long will you be here?
Until the 22nd.
3.
Have you been here long?
Not long. We arrived on the 5th.
Will you be staying long?
Until the 19th. 4.
So, when did you get here?
Last week, on the 10th.
And how long will you be here altogether?
We are staying for 10 days.
5.
Have you just arrived?
No, we arrived on the 6th.
I see. And how long will you be staying here?
We leave on the 25th.
6. Are you planning to stay here long?
Until the 20th.
I see. And when did you get here?
We got here on the 1st of the month.
Check the result.
Activity 6. How long have these people been in Britain? Listen and write the number of weeks, months or years they have been here. 1.
How long have you been here?
Let's see. I've been here for about 6.5 weeks now.
2. Have you been living in Britain long?
Yes, I came here 16 years ago.
3.
Have you lived here long?
For about 3.5 months now. 4.
And you've been here for about 3 months?
No, I've been here for 9 months now.
5.
So when did you first come to the UK?
Oh, let me see now. It was about 26 years ago.
6. Did you arrive in the UK recently?
Yes, I've only been here 4.5 weeks.
7.
How long have you been living in England?
This is my 5th year now.
8.
Have you been living here for very long?
No, only 5 weeks.
Check the results you wrote on paper. Thank you very much for visiting the channel and watching the video. Please subscribe and comment below to help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much.
Now, it's turn to listening practice with teacher about the real-life story. Obsessive behavior. Let's go.
Okay, welcome to the Point of View mini-stories for obsessive behavior. Let's get started. Same story, now with 3 different versions. The first version, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, there was a woman named Kathy. Kathy always obsessed about English. She constantly worried about taking the TOEFL test. When she worried, she always rubbed her hands together. They were always chafed. Her friend Gabriel was the opposite. He always opted to remain relaxed. He always reprimanded Kathy and said, "Kathy, stop obsessing about English, damn it." Kathy never stood up to Gabriel. She just said, "I'm sorry, don't be mad." Then she said, "But let's go to the library now and study English, please." Gabriel always nixed this idea. He'd say, "Hell no, we're not studying English." Kathy felt unsettled, but she said, hesitantly, okay. However, in her mind, she would silently start to review English grammar. Then she always felt much better. All right, let's do the next version. The next version will start with since last year. Okay? Okay, there's a woman named Kathy. Since last year, she has obsessed about English. She has constantly worried about taking the TOEFL test. When she's worried, she has always rubbed her hands together. They have been chafed every day since last year. Her friend Gabriel has been the opposite. He has always opted to remain relaxed. He has reprimanded Kathy every time she worries and has said, "Stop obsessing about English, damn it." Kathy has never stood up to Gabriel. She has always said, "I'm sorry, don't be mad at me." Then she's always said, "But let's go to the library now and study English, please." Gabriel has always nixed this idea. He's always said, "Hell no, we're not studying English." And Kathy has always felt unsettled. And she's always said, hesitantly, okay. However, in her head, she has started to review English grammar every time. Then she has always felt much better. Okay, now did you notice I used the word always a lot in that version? Always, always, always. Why? Why did I always say always? Well, it's because I'm talking about something that started in the past and has continued until now. So I want to say always because I want to make clear that I'm not talking about one specific time, right? I have a conversation here. Kathy, stop obsessing about English, damn it, right? He says this, she says that. Well, if this only happened one time in the past, we would use the simple past, right? I would say, Gabriel said, stop obsessing about English. Kathy said, I'm sorry. But this is a conversation that has happened many times. They always have the same conversation since last year. So 10 months ago, they would have this conversation. And then 5 months ago, they would use the same conversation again, right? So always, almost every day, starting 1 year ago until now, they're always having this same conversation. So that's why I say has said, has always said. Always makes it more clear that it's not something that happened one time, that it's happening repeatedly, has happened repeatedly, starting last year until now. If it was only one time, it would be the past tense. But since it has happened many times, starting last year until now, then we can say has said, has done, etc. Okay. Last version begins with next year. There's a girl named Kathy. Next year, she will always obsess about English because next year she has to take the TOEFL test. Now, when she'll worry, she'll always rub her hands together. They're always going to be chafed. Her friend Gabriel will be the opposite. He'll always opt to remain relaxed. He'll always reprimand Kathy and say, "Kathy, stop obsessing about English, damn it." Kathy will never stand up to Gabriel. She'll just say, "I'm sorry, don't be mad." Then she'll say, "But let's go to the library now and study English, please." Gabriel will always nix this idea. He'll always say, "Hell no, we're not studying English." Kathy'll feel unsettled, but she'll say, hesitantly, "Oh, okay." However, in her mind, she'll silently begin to review English grammar. Then she'll feel much better. Okay, those are our 3 versions. Please pause now. Try to tell each version. So 20 years ago, since last year, and next year, 3 versions. If you can't do it, it's okay. Listen to one version again. Listen many times, then pause, try to tell that version. And then do it again with the second version, and then again with the third one. Just listen, listen, listen. Listening is the most important thing. Do not become worried and stressed about perfect grammar. Don't obsess about grammar. Don't be like Kathy, right? Don't obsess about correctness. Don't obsess about being perfect. That is not the purpose of this lesson. Listening is the number 1 thing you should do. If you feel relaxed, then okay, pause and try to tell each version yourself. If you feel stressed, don't do that. Just listen. Okay, that's all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, welcome to the commentary for obsessive behavior. And this is an interesting little Dear Abby letter, quite short. In fact, I was thinking about the different levels of our members. Most of you are advanced learners. You have to be advanced just to read my homepage and my newsletter and understand it. So most of you are advanced. Probably Dear Abby is pretty easy for you. But some of you are at a lower level. I would say probably an intermediate level. And for you, I think the Dear Abby lessons are much better. The article lessons, the main articles, can be very difficult for some people, especially for intermediate level learners. And some of you have complained to me, in fact, that, AJ, these articles are much too difficult for me. If that's the case, if that's true, I recommend focusing on the Dear Abby lessons and the pronunciation lessons instead. They're easier and they're shorter. So even if it is a little bit difficult, there's still not so much new language to learn like the articles can possibly be. So for the intermediate level members, I recommend focus on Dear Abby. It's a great level for you. And for the advanced learners, I recommend also using Dear Abby, but in a different way. You'll still learn some new phrases, especially casual English phrases. But you can also use it to really go deeply with some things that you may already know. Focus on the mini stories and the point of view mini stories, and really get this to go deeply by listening again and again and again, many, many times. You all know the past tense, for example. However, when you speak, many of you may make mistakes with the past tense. You may use the present tense when you should use the past. I know many of my San Francisco students do this. Now, if I give them a test, they will all do very well on the past tense. Yet, when we actually speak, they don't use it. What's the problem here? Well, the problem is knowing and doing are totally different. Knowing is a left brain activity. It's an analytical activity. It means you analyze, you break it apart, you think about it. That's one kind of knowledge. But using a language, being able to speak English fluently, is a different kind of knowledge. It's more like playing a sport. Okay, you can know about basketball, you can study basketball. It does not mean you can actually play basketball, right? Studying basketball and playing basketball are totally different. Well, it's the same thing with English. Studying about English, learning the rules, conjugating verbs, taking tests, that is totally different than using English, speaking English fluently, understanding quickly, speaking quickly and correctly. Totally different than studying the grammar and taking the tests. This is why I think that obsessive test taking and obsessing about English in general is very, very bad. I have a lot of students in San Francisco, for example, who obsess about the TOEFL test. That's why my little mini story, it's kind of a joke about those students. Not a mean joke, it's a nice joke. But it's true. There are a lot of students like this. In Japan, oh my God, so many students like this. They're focused on the TOEIC or the TOEFL or the university exam or a grad school exam, but it's always a test. A lot of the people don't seem to care about actually learning English and using it. Or about countries that speak English, America or Australia or England. They're not interested in the cultures or the people or communication. It's just this damn test. And they think that if they focus on the test and they do well on the test, that means, now I can use English, now I can speak English. And they're always very shocked that even if they get a good score on the test, when they actually try to understand Americans, for example, they can't. They can't. So many students come here to San Francisco. They have a good TOEFL exam. They go to the street and someone chats with them, talks with them at a bus stop, and they're confused and they don't know what they're saying. And when they try to talk, they speak very slowly. They can't remember. They're trying to conjugate verbs and translate. Their pronunciation is terrible, and Americans don't understand them. They try to say something, and Americans are confused. What? Huh? What? Huh? And that's a terrible feeling. I know. I had that feeling in Thailand. I would try to use Thai. People could not understand me. I became very upset and frustrated. So you have to separate these ideas. They're different. This idea of studying English, learning the rules, memorizing the grammar, and taking tests. That's one thing. And then the other thing is speaking English fluently, using it correctly, knowing the grammar deep down, feeling what is correct. Feeling, not knowing, feeling when something sounds correct and when it sounds wrong. Speaking with good pronunciation. Speaking without translating. Now that is a different kind of knowledge. It's a skill. And they don't mix very much. The test-taking, analyzing, memorizing part, it's good if you want to, get a PhD and talk about English in your own language. But it's not very good if you actually want to use English. So you've got to focus on using English. And if you want to use English well, just do not obsess about tests. The students who obsess about the TOEFL exam, for example, they're always my worst students. I mean, 95% of the time, when I have a student who is obsessed is kind of the emotion. or I can use it as a verb, to obsess. So if I have a student who obsesses, using it as a verb, who obsesses about the TOEFL exam, for example, I know they're probably going to be quite low. And I also know they're going to learn very slowly. Because if they obsess about the test, that's all they will focus on. And when they obsess about the test, it makes them use different kinds of study methods. What do? Well, they study grammar, so much grammar, grammar books, grammar books, grammar books. What else do? They go buy those TOEFL test books, and they take practice TOEFL tests again and again and again. And that's all they do. And that's not natural English, and it's a terrible way to learn a language in general, any language. So, in fact, their TOEFL scores do not improve a lot. Their general speaking ability does not improve at all, usually. And then what else happens? I have another person in my class who just really interested in American culture. They really like being here, and they really want to meet people, and they're excited, and wow, English is interesting, and oh, I love English movies, and oh, American books and are really kind of cool, and oh, they like certain movies and music and culture and blah, blah, blah. Those people learn very quickly. They learn fast. Why? Well, number one, they're listening a lot. They're listening to American movies all the time. They're making American friends, so they're listening to Americans speak English constantly. These people usually study on their own in a different way. They listen to podcasts. They listen to these kinds of lessons on Effortless English. They listen to TV shows. That's how they study. The funny thing is that these people also improve on their TOEFL exams, and they improve faster than the people who are obsessed with the TOEFL. And that makes the TOEFL people so frustrated and angry sometimes, right? Here they are, they're studying the TOEFL exam, they're focused on the TOEFL, they're obsessed with the TOEFL, TOEFL. And somebody else is having fun, and the person who has fun improves faster, and they get a better TOEFL score. And they get so upset, some of these students. And they come to me, AJ, oh, my TOEFL, I took it again, and it didn't improve very much. Why am I not getting better? And Seiko over here, she's having fun and making friends and just listening to movies and podcasts, and she did better than me. I don't understand. And then I tell them, well, I try to explain the Effortless English method. I try to explain research. But unfortunately, these students, they obsess so much. They're so obsessed with the exam. They can't hear me. They will. It's frustrating for me. I try to tell them, please study in a different way. Learn in a different way. You will have more fun. Your speaking will improve. And you will even do better on the TOEFL exam than you are now. But they don't listen. The students who are really obsessed about exams, they will not listen. It's like a mental disease. I don't know. It's kind of like some kind of craziness. They're so obsessed. It's all they can think about. So I tell them, try the other method. Try Seiko's method. It's working for her. But they won't listen. They'll say, yeah, okay. And the next day I see them. They have their TOEFL exam book, and they're studying the grammar again. And then 2 months later, they take the TOEFL exam, and oh no, I didn't improve very much. Oh, they come back to me. AJ, what should I do? It's the same conversation every time. I have this one student who's Korean who has been doing this for over 1 year. Over 1 year, obsessed with the TOEFL exam, takes the test, does not improve enough, comes back to me, complains, AJ, my TOEFL's not good enough. What should I do? Every time I tell her, well, you should listen to podcasts. You should read interesting books that you like for fun. All the Effortless English methods that you know. I tell her, please do this. It will help you. Trust me. And every time she says, and then she ignores me. And she uses the same method again. I see her using her TOEFL book, studying grammar. And then 2 months later, she takes the TOEFL test again. And then, oh God, AJ, my TOEFL test, it didn't go up enough. I didn't improve very much. What should I do? What's wrong? I mean, again and again. This has been happening for 1 year, and she still will not change her methods. And this is really a form of insanity, of craziness. When you keep doing the same thing, and you keep getting a bad result, and you keep using the same method, and you think maybe this time my result will be different. But again, you get the same result. It's a kind of craziness. And I don't know why, but these exams, these tests can sometimes make people crazy like this. So my advice to you, if you need the TOEFL exam, it's okay. Some of you need it. Some of you want to study grad school in America, for example. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But don't obsess about the test. It will hurt you. You will learn more slowly if you do that. Use the effortless English methods. I guarantee you will learn faster than people who are taking TOEFL classes and studying TOEFL books. Your TOEFL scores will improve better and more and faster than the people who are studying the TOEFL test. I promise you, this is not just my opinion. There's a lot of research about this. The people who focus on the test actually do worse on the test. The people who use effortless methods also do better on tests like the TOEFL exam or the TOEIC. So, you have more fun. You learn faster. You do better on the tests. Your pronunciation is better. You become more fluent. Everything is better if you use an effortless system. So don't obsess about these tests, please. Put your TOEFL books to the side. Put away your grammar books. Use an effortless method, and you will do much better. All right. There's another pep talk for today, I guess. That's the end of the commentary for obsessive behavior. I'll see you on the next lesson. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for visiting the channel and watching the video. Please subscribe and comment below to help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much.
I can see my future looking in your eyes. So why are you not with me here tonight?
You feel a million miles away from me, and as I'm crying, lying next to him, I'm making love with your memory.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me call your name? Can you feel me?
I can feel you.
Well, I can feel you next to me. So why can't you and I just live our lives and never have to say goodbye? Get caught up in the reasons why we shouldn't be together tonight. When it feels just right, we don't need to apologize, 'cause what we're doing isn't wrong, and we've been lonely way too long. Trying to hide what's going on is only tearing you and I apart. Why is loving you breaking my heart? With every breath I take, I breathe you in. You're like whiskey running through my veins, and I'm drunk on you again.
I'd give anything to have you here.
I'd give anything.
Is she right there with you right now, whispering in your ear? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me call your name? Can you feel me?
I can feel you. So why can't you and I just live our lives and never have to say goodbye? Caught up in the reasons why we shouldn't be together tonight.